Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
It's a rainy day here in San Antonio. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. It kind of makes sense, Joe, that it's raining and dark outside because that's how I feel as a Spurs fan. Spurs last night fell to our I-10 rivals, the Houston Rockets. It was a close game down the stretch. Spurs lost 106-101. Spurs were down at some point by like 22, 24 points. Fought all the way back and made it a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. Did it a couple of times, but it was a no-go. Spurs just couldn't pull it out at the end. Spurs lose 106-101 to drop to 1-2. Now, I did advertise, Joe, on Twitter earlier that Jeff Garcia was going to be on. That is incorrect.
It's Tuesday.
I thought it was Wednesday, so my bad. Now, I did run into Jeff Garcia over at the Spurs game last night. Joe, took my daughter Gabby, took my nephew Jacob.
So?
We were in the upper deck. Remember, before the show ended yesterday, I mentioned that I would be in section 208, row 1. We make our way up there. The seats are perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with those seats. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to get on SeatGeek.
Yeah.
Got on the app. Is there anything going on? So what I did was instead of saying what's the cheapest ticket, I put down what's the best value score.
There you go.
10.0 value was to go down to the lower deck, the 17th row, for $32 a ticket.
Yeah.
You add the convenience fees and all that, Joe, $125. I said, screw it, let's do it. I'm plugging in my information. I couldn't figure it out. There was something wrong. It was giving me an error message. It was giving me an error message because I didn't include my phone number in the order. So I got out of the app, got back into the app, bought the same tickets, right? Joe, $12 each.
Not bad.
With the convenience fees, was it about $50? We got down to the 17th row, Joe, kind of where we were in the charter level. Dude, it was an experience, man. I took my kid, took my my nephew out there. It was a fun time. Dude, going to Spurs games is like going to a high school reunion. You just run into people that you know.
Oh, yeah, like Fiesta, man.
Yeah. So it was fun, man. It was a fun game. Lots to get into, Joe, about this game because the Spurs fell 1-2 record. Spurs had beaten the Rockets, Saturday night at the Frost Bank Center?
Yeah.
They ran it back.
Home opener.
And the intensity of this game, Joe, from the get-go, the Rockets had the intensity. I was looking over at my nephew and I said, man, the Rockets are playing playoff basketball. The Spurs are playing regular season basketball. That was the big difference between the two. By the way, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We have more than 1,050 subscribers strong. Already, our chat on YouTube, powered by MCS General Contracting, is off and running. I see Mario Cavazos, Sam Salinas already making comments out there. Angel was there asking if I survived the night. I took some photos with Angel and his girlfriend Valerie yesterday. Valerie and I went to high school. She doesn't claim to be a Holmes Husky. She says, I went to business careers. But as I tell her every time, when she played high school sports, did it say business careers on it? No, it's at Holmes Huskies. She's a Holmes Husky.
No, she's in business careers.
No.
She's in business careers.
She's not going to claim some magnet school when it comes to it all.
Mike.
But last night's game, Joe, 106-101. The Rockets came out to battle, right? Spurs got the first hit, got the first win Saturday night. The thing about it is that the Rockets came out and they were pissed. And the Spurs came out lackadaisical. The Spurs came out just with no fire, with no energy. Wemby disappeared the first half. It was a magic trick. I told Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 at halftime, hey, I didn't realize Wemby wasn't going to play today. He goes, dude, what do you mean Wemby's out there? And I said, is he? I didn't notice. They took Wemby out of the game. And
so you're saying he pulled a John Cena? You can't see me?
You can't see me, dude. He disappeared. And it's funny because you look at his stats, right? He ends the game with 14 points and 20 rebounds.
Man.
He was 5 points and 8 rebounds at halftime. But at no point did Victor Wembanyama assert himself offensively in this game. And that is the problem that we have with Wemby, is that Wemby is not asserting himself. He is not a dominant force yet. He's just very talented. Jeremy Sochan had a big game, but do we really want to have a night where Jeremy Sochan has 19 field goal attempts, Joe. 19. People were arguing with me on Twitter last night saying that I was wrong because Sochan had a big game, 22 points, 9 rebounds. You're looking at the wrong analytics, dude.
EFG?
Well, the EFG is it wasn't as high as you want it to be, but overall for the season, he's fine.
Oh, man.
Averaging, what is he averaging? Like 19 points per game?
So you're going to be hating on Wemby today?
No. What I'm saying, Joe, is this. I asked this question to somebody who always criticizes me on Twitter. He goes, "That's asinine, Michael. Nonsensical what you're saying about Sochan." What I was saying was he had more field goal attempts than Wemby, right? Wemby had 14 field goal attempts. Why is he having more field goal attempts than Wemby? If you had to choose between Wemby and Julian Champagnie and Sochan to shoot the balls, let's say tell you, Joe, we got to go make a bucket, right? Who do you want shooting the ball? Do you want Wemby, Sochan, Barnes, or Champagnie shooting the ball? Who do you want first? Who do you take as your first option there?
I'd probably take Barnes.
Okay, fine.
More experience.
Who do you want in 2?
Probably Champagnie.
Who do you want 3?
I don't know.
maybe Wemby, right?
Maybe Wemby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you think the defense wants? The Rockets succeeded because they made the Spurs offense run through Jeremy Sochan, who, by the way, that 1 3-point shot attempt that he took was such an ugly hitch of a shot. It reminded me of Charles Barkley going for a tee shot in golf. There's a hitch to it. It's ugly. But I will say this about Sochan. The only player on this team who came with fire to start the game. Champagnie came to do cardio. Harrison Barnes was just happy having 2 games that were good. Wemby disappeared. Chris Paul had an awful first half. So I will give flowers to Sochan by saying Sochan actually came with fire. He had a little bit of a dust up again with one of the players from the Rockets. I believe he went after Jalen Green. And then later on, we saw Jabari Smith Jr. at a free throw line. See, this is the things that you don't see on TV, Joe. Because when you're on TV, you see with the view of Bally Sports. But when you watch the game from up close, you see things that are going on. You see Jeremy Sochan line up at the free throw line, not to shoot the ball, but to rebound the ball.
Yeah.
And you see Jabari Smith Jr. go and walk into his face. Sochan is leading forward. Jabari Smith Jr. did not have to do that. But Jabari Smith purposefully ran in or walked into Jeremy Sochan's face. As Sochan complained to the official did nothing about it. And they started jawing at each other.
Yeah.
You don't see things like that. You know what you don't see? And no one reported this, Joe. I have yet to see this report. Pop was yelling at CP3, and CP3 blew him off before the end of the first half. At the end of the second quarter, there's about 38 seconds to go. Spurs going for a 2-for-1 on this possession. What do? You roll the ball up the court, right? CP3 walked that ball 46 feet up the court, 47 feet up the court, right? Pop is right there, right next to him, screaming at him, pick up the ball. Start the play. Pick up the ball. Let's go. Start the play.
Yeah.
Pick up the ball. CP3 was 1 foot from him. Didn't pick up the ball. Kept the ball rolling all the way till it got to midcourt. So I was like, well, wait a minute. Pop is he's not even paying attention to Pop, right? I mean, we thought, he's going to want to be coached by the GOAT, right? Dude, Pop is yelling at Chris Paul. Yelling at him.
Well, why does he want him to pick up the ball, though?
Start the play is what he was saying. All he was saying, start the play. Let's get it going. Let's go going. Start the play. And CP3 was just like, nope. Disregarded him. And it wasn't like Pop yelled it once. Pop yelled it for like 5 or 6 seconds. And CP3 is right there.
Yeah.
Pop is yelling into his ear. And CP3 was like, F you, dude. I'm playing this game. You're not.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah. You don't see it. But you notice Chris Paul didn't play in the third quarter? Chris Paul was like, no media is going to mention that, by the way.
Yeah.
No media is going to mention the fact that, Pop yelled at Chris Paul. Chris Paul didn't play a lot in the second half. Now, Chris Paul played the last 4 minutes of the game when things got a little bit crazy.
Yeah. You know what I saw last night in this game? And I'm looking at the stat sheet, and it tells me the same thing. What happened at the end of the game, and the Spurs tried to make a valiant comeback, right? They were down. They came back, made it interesting in the fourth quarter. But they just couldn't stop the Rockets from shooting beyond the arc. They were just knocking down the three. And at the end of the day, you're looking at the stat sheet, and it tells you the Rockets, they shot a little bit better than the Spurs from beyond the arc. And at the end of the day, there's your game. Fred VanVleet came up the court in a critical moment there.
Knocked it
Spurs
down.
didn't get the stop, and that was the dagger. He hit a three, and that's about all she wrote. Spurs couldn't come back from that. That was a nail in the coffin.
Rockets shot 15 of 37, 41% from three. The Spurs shot 30% from three. I mean, that's a big
10
part
of
of
33.
it. Spurs had way too many turnovers in the first quarter of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they were double digits with like 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. JHNSB reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says Dylan Brooks, who's a foot shorter than Wemby, locked him down. Embarrassing. Joe, watching that game up close, you saw how physical the Rockets were. The Spurs played with fire on Saturday night. The Spurs played with desire, with hustle. The Spurs played with athleticism, and the Spurs were getting dirty on Saturday. Yesterday, they were weak. Absolutely weak. They allowed the Rockets to push them around.
Elias is asking if the fans booed Barnes again.
No, they didn't, but Barnes had a bad game. Barnes, just 2 points, didn't make any field goal attempts after starting the season off.
You know what it tells
fire.
you at the end of the day, what these Rockets did is that they just came in and they had a better defensive scheme and played with more energy than the Spurs did. They were just on the Spurs from the get-go defensively. They played a good scheme against the Spurs. Spurs, again, they folded. They got soft, didn't do nothing. And they also let Fred VanVleet go up there and start jawing at Jeremy Sochan. And Sochan just kind of just looked at him, didn't do much. I mean, it is what it is at that point, but it just goes to show you the state and the mindset of the team right now. They're still playing soft, man.
Part of it's the officiating crew, because I'm not going to blame the officials. What I am saying is that you know what the officials are going to be doing to set the tone. Not all officials are the same, Joe.
Yeah.
And they set the tone. And when Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Alpana Şengün, Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson, Steven Adams, when they can all get away with pushing, when they can get away with grabbing, when they can do hand checks, and the Spurs see this and know that it's not being called, the Spurs should counter by doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Match the intensity. And they didn't match the intensity until down the stretch. And by the way, it wasn't any of the star players that brought the Spurs back. Welcome to the season, Malachi Branham.
Yeah.
Malachi Branham with 3 3-pointers in the second half, 5 of 8 shooting. I was screaming in the sidelines, my son.
Yeah, but your son also missed a bunny, man, right there underneath the rim. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, dude, he drove in. I think he got surprised that no one challenged it.
He got caught in no man's land, dude.
There were 3 bunnies that were missed in the last 12 minutes of the game.
Man.
One by Malachi Branham, one by Blake Wesley, who Blake Wesley, by the way, even though you look at his stat line, 6 points, 2 assists, I thought he played well yesterday.
Look at this comment.
Oh, Stephon Castle missed a bunny. Sochan missed a 1-foot hook shot.
They just kept missing shots. Look at this comment, had me laughing, dude. Sam Salinas, CP3 blew off Pop. Good.
Was that like the good when I said
he had Parkinson's?
Yeah, with
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre had Parkinson's.
Good.
I know that that day Spernandez got really excited about what I had to say with that. He was like, that was just hardcore.
Him and Chris
Chris
were laughing.
yeah.
They were laughing at you, dude.
But the Spurs, Julian Champagny, only 5 points. So he had 22 points, 9 rebounds. Spurs fans are getting excited, and I would say rightfully so. This is a player who's averaging 19 points and 9 rebounds this season.
Yeah.
He's shooting 52% from the field. Why is he shooting 52% from the field? Because he's not shooting from 3. I complained about EFG. I'm not going to complain about EFG right now because he's kind of where I want him to be EFG-wise for the season, right? I said I'd be happy at 52%, but really he needs to be around 54, 55, and that's kind of where he's at right now. So Jeremy Sochan has been playing some pretty decent ball. He's the only one playing with some fire. He got into a dust-up yet again with a Rockets player. Again, before the game started, he said, F Houston? So my problem with Sochan is not so much that he's not playing well, because he's actually playing pretty decently. His EFG, by the way, is at 55%. What did I want it to be? 54, 55%. I can't complain. But my complaint now is, Joe, when the offense is put in a position where Sochan has to shoot the ball 19 times, they're not going to win.
Yeah.
Even if he makes 10 of them, they're not going to win. And Victor Wembanyama, dude, get yourself in the game, man. They were allowing it. It was like there was one play, Joe, down the stretch. Okay, so down the stretch, Spurs were within 4 points, right? 3 or 4 points. Wemby called for a clear out. I was excited that he did that, right? Because that's the alpha part of the game. That's a Kobe thing to do, right? It's a Michael Jordan thing to do. It's a Tim Duncan thing to do. 4 minutes to go in the game, down 4 points. He brings the ball up the court. He tells everybody, get out the way. He wanted Şengün one-on-one. Fine. I want that play. I want to see him do that. But what ended up happening? He lost control of the ball, Joe. And instead of resetting the play, did a fadeaway 18-footer out of control that went off the back of the rim and had no chance of going in.
I like this comment by Tavares. He says, Vassell ain't saving this team.
Joe, is this team good or not? Are we going to be one of those teams that, like, fan bases that gets ups and downs, excited when they win and they suck when they lose?
Yeah, looks like it, man. Matt Lerma just said the same thing I just pointed out. Said the Spurs made more baskets than the Rockets. The Rockets just made more threes. That was the game right there. At the end of the day, the Rockets just capitalized on making more threes. But why? A lot of the threes that the Rockets did take, they were uncontested threes, man. There was nobody out there.
Well, when the Spurs got close, Jabari Smith Jr. knocked down one from the far corner. It was wide open. It was by himself.
Exactly, dude.
But you look at that last night's game, they lost because of turnovers in the first half. They lost because of lack of passion in the first half.
Look, they had less turnovers. They had 17 versus last game.
Right. I think they went from 19 to 17. But the fact of the matter is, Joe, they were at 12 turnovers within the first 14 minutes of the game, and the Spurs were down 20. I mean,
it looked like a game was already over.
What did they say?
That was it.
They say you can't win a game in the first quarter, but you can lose it. That's kind of what they did.
They got outscored right out the gate by the Rockets.
29 to
15, man. I mean,
it was 62 to 45 at halftime.
They came in flat.
But it took Malachi Branham knocking down 3 after 3 back to back at the end of the third quarter. Had one in the early part of the fourth quarter. They kept him in there. Bad games by Champagny. Bad games by Harrison Barnes. Chris Paul, his numbers look like he had a good game. He had 16 points. But really, all of that came down the final stretch.
And look at this. Matt Lerma. Sochan said, F Houston. And what are you talking about, Joe? Yeah, but the rest of the time, what did he do? He played soft. The whole team played soft. And that's one thing that Spurs fans got to get used to. This team plays soft, man. They get bullied around out there on the court. This is what happened yesterday against Houston.
They're complaining to the officials they're complaining to officials as opposed to reasserting themselves and saying, "Oh, well, this is going to be allowed. We allow hand checks in this game. Let's play this. Do hand checks."
Sochan was going to talk his shit in the last game because they won. He went out there. You put your chest out. Go out there. Play with the chip on your shoulder. Like I said, the Spurs, they need to play with some balls, man. They need to go ahead and get that nasty back. Right now, this ain't it, dude.
Well, that was the whole thing, right? When Wemby got tackled by Dylan Brooks the other day on Saturday night,
and I
complained that they did nothing.
Chris Paul at least took a shot, right?
Yeah, Chris Paul slapped him on the side of the head. Şengün had 12 points and 12 rebounds for the Rockets yesterday. Jalen Green, they had no answer for. And you saw the Spurs rotate various players to him, and it wasn't working, man. It didn't matter if it was Castle or if it was Sochan or whomever guarding Jalen Green. It just wasn't going to happen. Fred VanVleet had a bad game. Dylan Brooks did nothing yesterday other than take Wemby out defensively. Look at Dylan Brooks. His height, Dylan Brooks' height is 6'6". He's 10 inches shorter than Wemby. He made Wemby appear to be the same size. Dylan Brooks manhandled him the entire game, and Wemby did nothing about it.
He folded. But do you know the thing is with Wemby? Wemby needs to learn to move without the ball. Without the ball and get in better positions than just instead of just standing there. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm on the outside of the, right at the top of the key. I'm over here at the 3-point line. Give me the ball. Why?
Well, part of what Wemby's doing.
That's dumb.
Part of what Wemby's doing, and this is where we talked about this last week. Are we going to reach the point where you can't criticize Wemby? Wemby hesitates all the damn time. Just do something naturally. Just have something go in motion. Have it become part of like just who you are. Just it's just in rhythm.
He gets caught in no man's land.
He
dude.
catches the ball. This is what Wemby does. He catches the ball, pauses for like 2 or 3 seconds,
puts it on the right hip,
then puts it
swat
on
it
the
away.
right hip, and it's the same damn move over and
Brings it up
over
like
again.
that.
How does he not have a drop step?
I mean, he needs to learn something different, man.
He's 7'4". You have Tim Duncan at your disposal. How do you not know a drop step? What position is this guy?
He just needs to get more comfortable with playing that center position. He needs to get closer to the basket, and he doesn't have any help, man. That doesn't help his cause. You're going to go at the top of the key. You're going to want the ball. You're crying for it and yelling, give me the ball, beyond the arc, right?
Yeah.
You got nobody setting a screen for you. You got nobody setting a pick for you. Nothing's happening, man.
You have a 6'6" guy. You're 10 inches taller than who's guarding you, and you're not posting them up. And when you do post them up, you allow them to push you out. This is the NBA, and you're a superstar. Make a move to the basket. They're going to call a foul in your favor. Do you think the NBA wants Dylan Brooks to win that battle? Or do you think they want Victor Wembanyama to win it? Dude, he's soft, man. He is soft, and he is hesitating out there, and it's pissing me off. Catch the ball, do something natural, do something in rhythm. Instead, he holds the ball for a second or two, lets the defense surround him. Then he puts the ball on his right hip, like you said, Joe. That's his go-to.
Yeah.
He puts the ball on the right hip. Why is he settling for 20-foot fadeaways when he's 10 inches taller than the person guarding him? There was one play in the fourth quarter where he finally went to Dylan Brooks down low and just went straight up. No hesitation, straight up, off the glass, pushed him in 6 feet. Easy bucket. Where was that the whole game? Dude, I don't want Wemby being soft, man. Go assert yourself out there. He put on some weight. It's just weird, man.
Yeah, he says, Tony's saying, define soft play. He says, backcourt defense was awful. Why did Spurs get Castle and play the guy on Van Fleet?
Yeah, they should have had him on Jalen Green a little bit more often.
That's a coaching decision. That's up to the Coach Pop and the coaching staff, the way they want to scheme the game. And it just didn't work yesterday against Houston. But you had to anticipate that Houston was going to be out for blood. They were going to come out. They're going to play with more energy, and they're going to go ahead and bully the team. This is what Houston's style of play is.
Yeah.
They get down and dirty. They're an aggressive team on defense. And the Spurs, when they go up against teams that are really bullying them and pushing them around, they fold.
Jabari Smith Jr., I enjoy watching him play. He doesn't put up the stats that are very gaudy. I mean, what was he, the number 3 overall pick a few years ago?
Look, I like
17
this.
points, 8 rebounds. But, man, there was just something about him yesterday's game.
Yeah.
Where he just, no matter who was guarding him, he seemed to dominate them. He seemed to get into people's head. Like I said, you saw Sochan at the free throw line not shooting. He's going to get in position to rebound, and they haven't even lined up yet, and he's leaning forward, and Jabari Smith Jr. walks straight into his head. Just a mind F him.
Yeah.
Sochan got pissed, right? Maybe he was trying to get Sochan to get another technical foul because Sochan had one earlier in the game. Maybe that's what it was. But Sochan just sits there and whines. But you can jaw with somebody and not get a technical foul. Bear County Social Apparel, can we talk about how Keldon is 7 years in and still makes low basketball IQ decisions?
Well, you know what? After 7 years in, what does that tell you? That's the type of player that he is.
Keldon had a good game on Saturday night, man. But last night missed every single three-point attempt, including one that could have tied the game. He was 3 for 11, 0 for 5 from 3, 6 points. Zach Collins, dude, hate to say it, Joe. We might have to take away. I know he's only averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds in his time, but we may need to take away the booty crumbs definition of Zach Collins.
No,
he's actually playing all right this year, Joe.
We're only three games in. No,
last night 3 of 4, made 1 of 2 from 3, made all 4 free throw attempts, 11 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 3 rebounds in just 13 minutes, Joe. Just 13 minutes. Zach Collins is making the most of his time. He's not, his stats aren't there because he's not getting the minutes. He's averaging about 14 minutes per game. But I like what I'm seeing of him. I hate to say this, Joe. We talk about players being soft. Guess who's not being soft? Zach Collins. Who would have thought? So what did we see yesterday, Joe? We saw CP3 disregard Gregg Popovich. We also probably saw that no other TV station or newspaper writer wrote about it.
Yeah, that's not news to them. They don't want to start trouble.
It's bad. It's a bad narrative, right? You don't want to mix it up with the silver and black, right? But it happened, Joe.
But you know what?
I tweeted it the second it
Speaking of
happened.
settling, Spurs fans, they like the team they have right now. They think that this team is going to take them to the promised land this season. They had high hopes at the beginning of the season, right? We're only 3 games in.
Yeah.
That this team was going to be a lot better. They were going to be a 40-win team. The eye test tells me something different. It shows me that this is still around a 35, maybe 30-win team.
It's probably about a 30-win team, Joe.
That's what I'm seeing right now.
You're going to have some nights where Wemby goes off and he has a hot shooting night. You're going to see some nights where they scheme against him. And there's tape on him, Joe. There's tape on him. You know how to adjust to him. Now, the Spurs did get some good news yesterday. The good news being that the Atlanta Hawks have lost 2 games in a row, coming back down to earth. Everyone was all excited. Well, not excited. They were like all worried because they're like, well, the Hawks have won 2 games in a row to start the season. Maybe they're good. No, maybe it's because they played Brooklyn and Charlotte.
What is that?
Someone had to win those games.
From that guy, that coach from football. They are who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were. Diddy Green. Yeah, they lost by 24 to Oklahoma City, and they lost to the Washington Wizards, and they played the Wizards again. And then they got Sacramento, then New Orleans, then Boston, then New York.
Yeah, the wheels are gonna fall off.
Then Chicago, then Boston, then Sacramento, then Golden State, then Chicago, then Dallas, then Cleveland.
You think they're gonna beat Boston? Come on, bro.
Get the hell out of here.
They could get blown out the water.
Meantime, Derek White had a game yesterday where he guarded Dame and Dame and Giannis in the same play.
Jeez,
it's just like, Zed's dead. Our girl,
yeah.
She was like, Brian Wright, that you took a big L on this one.
That's the thing, is that
because we got Blake Wesley, I think.
Yeah, they were rebuilding. They were in full rebuild mode. They wanted picks. They wanted to get rid of everybody.
We get picks, baby. We get picks.
That's what they want right now. Hey, you look at this, Matt Lerma. Collins played a good game. No, just regular crumbs today. No, he's still booty crumbs.
No, he played with some. He was assertive, man.
You saw that picture? I was talking with.
Wait. First of all, wait, real fast. You want me to give Sochan flowers when he plays well?
Yeah.
We have to give flowers to Zach Collins.
Nah.
When 9 out of the 12 players going out there are playing weak and soft. There were only 3 players playing with Ganas yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Con Ganas yesterday. 3 players. It was Sochan, Malachi Branham, and Zach Collins.
Yeah,
they were the only 3 that brought it yesterday.
I ain't forgiving him, man.
So we got to
show me something.
We got to give 11 points and
play like this for like 5 games, and I'll take out the booty crumbs. Because you know what? When I've seen him play in the past seasons, this dude been soft as hell, man. I could have gone out there and guarded him. Or could put a traffic cone out there from Home Depot. It'd do a better job on defense than he would. I mean, he's just horrible, man. No.
Let's read some of these comments coming in. Any good comments coming in?
Let's see. Sam Salinas, Bear County Social Apparel. He's replying back to me. He goes, no, because KJ is just another mediocre player. Everybody wants to excuse.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a stat right here?
Go ahead.
That no one's talking about? Joe. Can we give Brian Wright some flowers?
No, you don't want to.
Can we give him some flowers? I'm going to show a stat here that no one's talking about. And this is why you listen to the Alamo City Sportscast, everybody. It's because I see things that no one else does. Remember the Spurs traded the number 8 overall pick, and a lot of Spurs fans were salty?
Yeah.
And we got a first rounder in 2031 and a swap in 2030. Rob Dillingham has played no games this year. He has not even played 1 game this year. Joe, remember they were talking about how there's weak drafts and there's strong drafts, and this past 2024 was called what? Weak.
It's all right.
No, it was called one of the worst. It was called one of the worst drafts of the last 15 years.
If you didn't pick in the top 3, 4, nah.
It was called one of the worst drafts of the last, right? And the Spurs got rid of their first round pick, number 8, Rob Dillingham. They traded him to
wasn't it OKC or
Memphis
something?
or whoever that was, right? Let's go back in time, Joe. I'm looking at the stats right now of the 2024 rookies. Did you know that there is not one rookie in the NBA this year, averaging 10 points.
Wow.
Joe, there's not one rookie averaging double digits in
That's
points.
surprising.
Joe, I can go back even further. Did you know that there's not one rookie in the NBA right now averaging 9 points? The highest scoring rookie right now is Carlton Carrington, who was picked 14th at the end of the lottery by the Portland Trailblazers. He's averaging 8.7 points per game, and currently right now is the leading rookie points per game leader. Jamal Sheed, who was a second rounder drafted by Sacramento, 8.5 points per game. Yves Missy, who was drafted 21 out of Baylor for New Orleans, is third at 8.3. The number 39 pick, Joe, of this draft, Jalen Wells of Washington State, playing for Memphis, 8 points per game. Dude, this rookie class might actually suck. Zach Edey, who was drafted 9 overall, 7.8 points per game. Zachary Rees-Sarchet, number 1 overall, averaging 7.3. Alex Sarr, who missed this 1 3-pointer the other day by like 8 feet, averaging 7 points per game. Stephon Castle averaging 6.7. Dalton Connect, remember he had a big preseason for the Lakers? 5.8. Donovan Clingan, remember? He could be the second coming of something big. 4.3 points per game. Reed Shepard, who we were all excited about because he was a sharpshooter out of Kentucky, 2.7 points per game.
Man, Angel, man. This is funny, dude. Tell him, Joe, if Mike loves Collins, then we'll call him Booty Crumbs Jimenez. I think we found you a new nickname right there when you have those bad takes. It's not Skip Menace. Now it's going to be Booty Crumbs Jimenez.
Oh, dude. Whatever. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. So, Joe, is it too early to look at this and go, hey, man, 2 weeks into the season,
this ain't it, dude.
8.7 points per
this
game,
ain't it.
and it's like a end of the first round guy when the number 1 player overall. I mean, what's the all rookie team gonna be?
What did Devin Vassell say that one year? We hooping. You're gonna watch. We hooping this year. No, this ain't it, dude. You're more competitive. Don't get me wrong, but is it gonna translate into more wins? And this is what I've been telling Spurs fan since the summertime. This team will look better, once they had the signing of CP3 and Barnes. But I said, they're going to be more competitive. You're going to see them make some strides. But at the end of the day, it's going to translate into just a handful more wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 10 more wins, 12 more wins than last season. And what does that tell you? Right around, 35, 30 wins, for the season.
By the way, I'm looking at a thing talking about the worst NBA rookie of the years. Malcolm Brogdon is the most recent one of the 2000s, right? Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year about 15 years ago. His stats as a Rookie of the Year, Joe, in 2016, 2017, he averaged 10 points per game and 4 rebounds and 3 rebounds.
Jeff calling you out, dude.
What's that? I was only 2 beers in.
That's all you need, dude. Hey, Angel, he goes, you knew Mike was drunk when we all met up.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Fun game at the Spurs time at the Spurs game last night, dude. It was fun. And you know what? I don't think that San Antonio is the small town that people think that it is. We hear that all the time, Joe, right? It's a city of 2 million people, but everybody knows everybody, and that's incorrect. I finally came to the conclusion. It's because San Antonio is so segregated.
You think so?
It's so segregated that we lock eyes on people who come from the same neighborhood.
You know what we need to ask? We should ask Gabby, right? Because Gabby, she lived here, right? Your daughter?
Yeah.
In San Antonio. And now she's over there in Louisiana, right? Like, how does it compare to Louisiana? What's the difference here? You've lived in both places now. And is San Antonio truly a small city when you come back and visit? I mean, what does it feel like to her?
It's interesting when I talk to my daughter about things because she misses Texas. Texas is
always home to her.
It is home,
Yeah.
but there's a difference, Joe. I drove to Louisiana last weekend, right?
Highways are awful, dude.
Yeah, it changes, dude. I tell this all the time. I had a debate with my girlfriend Francesca the other day. She lives out in Conroe. I went out there, and she said one morning over the weekend, she's like, "Hey, let's go to Louisiana. Let's go gamble." Right. So we drove out to Louisiana. The second that you leave Texas and it says you welcome to Louisiana or welcome to New Mexico or welcome to Oklahoma, you can tell that things change, Joe.
Yeah.
Just driving out there, that it's different. And every state has its own different personality. My daughter Gabby and I last year, she had an internship in Virginia Beach, right? We drove from San Antonio through Arkansas. We made our way to Tennessee, to Mississippi, making our way through, and we finally got to Virginia Beach, right?
Yeah.
Each state different. Each state with a different personality, a different vibe. Texas has a certain vibe, and Louisiana's vibe is different, man. Some people love it. I like going over there. I could visit there, but I could not live there. I love the people there. I love the culture there. Just couldn't live there. It's different. Texas is its own thing. California is its own thing. Arizona is its own thing.
Yeah.
Colorado. We all have different vibes. And so my daughter, coming back home, it's different, because I tell her, it's like, man, back in the day, you and I used to go to nightclubs. They don't do that, man. Young people don't do nightclubs anymore.
Yeah, they don't like nightclubs no more, dude.
It's crazy, dude.
They're too busy doing their other things now. Like they like going to what is it, like little events, stuff like
they
that.
can go to the lounges.
Yeah, lounge kind of thing. Even like food truck parks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Live music. They're looking to be entertained now. It's not so much going on an all-night bender.
I got a little confused because my daughter was here the other day with her friends,
Yeah.
and they went out drinking, right? And just a night, that's good. That's what they should do. And I asked her, where'd you go? She went to the bar that I go to with Jeff Garcia. She went to 1919.
Oh.
I was like, don't you be going to my bar?
Yeah.
Don't you go to my bar? But you know what? Made me proud.
Yeah.
Because you know what? 1919, you go there to have good drinks,
Yeah,
man.
good stuff there.
You don't go there for the Long Island iced tea. That was us back in the day. On the Long Island, these young people are going out getting nice cocktails, dude. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But let's go flip the script a little bit, talk about some of the NFL on the other side. Our good friends, Chris Leha, MCS General Contracting, do an amazing job. Let's give them some love as they've been with us since day one.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
How hard is that concrete, Joe?
Diamond hard.
Mm-hmm. They do a fantastic job. I'm a customer. I paid for them to come over to do a sidewalk at my house, help with the drainage, a landing, an extension to my covered patio. They did an amazing job. Highly recommend MCS General Contracting. They power our chat. Call them 210-774-9155 for your concrete needs. MCS General Contracting. Joe, looking at a tweet from RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. Cowboys fell to the Niners. It was a close game on Sunday night. At least the Cowboys caught up to the fourth quarter. They lost 30-24, I believe. We talked about something yesterday, Joe. You brought it up, and RJ Ochoa is parroting that. Talking about how in 2018, at this point in the season, Dak Prescott had 40 rush attempts. This year, he has 10.
He ain't been the same after that ankle, man.
That's crazy. Now, at some point, he had 27, 23, 40, whatever. But he's never had this few rush attempts in his career. And I wonder how many of those rush attempts, Joe, are from the first 3 victories that they had against, the first 3 games that they won this year. Victory formation, because those count as rush attempts. He just doesn't run anymore. He's a sitting duck. He has no threat of the legs anymore.
Yeah.
Can you even be that type of quarterback in 2024?
Are you worth $60 million if you can't run?
Yeah.
Just saying, man. I was never a fan of Dakota Rain Prescott. Still not a fan of him.
Jerry Jones appeared on 105.3 The Fan today. That was the same place a couple of weeks ago where he threatened the jobs of the people there.
Yeah.
Because they didn't bow to him, and how dare they question him?
How dare they?
He's stepping up for Trayvon Diggs, who was jawing at a reporter saying, hey, man, that doesn't mean he's losing focus. He stands by his guy. Goes off to say that Mike McCarthy is pretty much not in trouble. Joe, as a Cowboy fan right now, is the writing on the wall? Is the writing on the wall that they're not going to do anything this year? Like, do you have any faith? Is there any part of you that thinks they can turn this around?
No, not a prayer, dude. They got.
So do you cheer for them to lose?
Exactly. If you're a Cowboys fan, basically, then you know that they're out of playoff contention. If you're being real with yourself, and you're seeing the product that's out there, and you see all the gaping holes, and not only the defense but also in the offense, you want this team to lose. They need a high enough pick to help change their trajectory moving forward.
Yeah, pick 15 ain't it.
Do something. You need a higher pick, man.
All right, let's talk about the NFL power rankings. Are we going to go with NBC Sports, CBS Sports? Or are we going to go with ESPN or Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, let's go with ESPN.
ESPN, they released their power rankings right now. Let's go to the top 10. At number 10, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles beat the Bengals 37-17. They moved up one spot from 11 to 10. Saquon Barkley, man, is turning back the clock. We talk about how Derrick Henry's been doing so well. It's only Derrick Henry, it's Saquon Barkley, right? Too bad two running backs are the same age. Zeke Elliott and Dalvin Cook can't do anything, but these guys have yet to get old.
Can Zeke run still?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
Dude, I mean, we talked about that pickup of Saquon Barkley. He's averaging 109 yards per game, Joe. Been big. I thought the Eagles sucked, remember?
Yeah.
They started the season off wrong. 5-2, just one game behind the Washington Commanders. Commanders, a Hail Mary away from being tied with Philadelphia, but no, they won. Number 9 team, falling down, the Minnesota Vikings. They lost to the Rams 30-20. At number 8, Steelers, 6-2, beat the Giants 26-18. All they do is win. It's an ugly team, but all they do is win. Commanders beat the Bears 18-15. Number 7 on ESPN's power rankings with a 6-2 record. That Hail Mary there. Joe, I still go back and think about that defensive back who was back there just jawing at the crowd and just saying, I just got to do better now. Good God. I hope that his teammates just completely ripped him to shreds and beat the crap out of him inside of the locker room. I mean, I remember Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I remember that.
When that big dude was sleeping, Bonsa out, and everyone went and got their pillowcases and put bars of soap in there and would go up to him and just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I hope that his teammates from the Bears, when he was asleep in the hotel room, all went in there and just beat the crap out of him with the soap. And I hope that at practice today, while everyone's working out, they have him with a donut in his mouth and his chonas around his pants, and he's walking the field, just like that big dude.
Yeah, if I was a coach, I'd embarrass the shit out of him. You embarrassed us, we're going to embarrass you. You go out there in that field and you do laps bare ass. They can just laugh at you.
Number 6, the Ravens at 5-3. They lost to the Cleveland Browns, man. How is it that the Ravens beat up on good teams but lose to Jameis Winston, who hadn't played in about 2 years? I don't know. And then Derrick Henry averaged like 10 yards per carry, but they decided not to give him the ball. If the Ravens are going to lose games, it's because their play calling is crap. Number 5, the Houston Texans, 6-2. All they do is win by 3 and 5 points, dude. 3 and 6 points. They beat the Colts 23-20. Joe Mixon's back. They've been winning. Number 4 in the power rankings. I don't know if I consider them the 4th best team, but they have the Green Bay Packers. The Jaguars 30-27. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Bills 3.5 games ahead of everybody else in the AFC East. Beat the Seahawks 31-10. They got Amari Cooper, who's starting to light it up. Number 2, The team that I think is the best team in the NFL, Joe, the Detroit Lions beat the Titans 52-14. They got it. They got it all, dude. They got the kicker, Jake Bates. They've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jahmyr Gibbs is lighting it up these days. And at number 1, the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, who beat the Raiders 27-20. Joe, let me ask you this, Joe. Let's say it's Super Bowl 50, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you and I had to place a bet for a bottle of booze. And I can say you can pick whatever team you want. I'll take the other one. Kansas City or Detroit. Which team are you taking?
No, I'm taking Kansas City.
God, doesn't that piss you off?
It doesn't. I'm a betting man. I'm going to make a bet that's going to win. And I heard this right here. This is funny. Jeff always up here watching you, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. All I heard was Jimenez saying panza, chones, and donut in his mouth. Jimenez is wildly.
That's funny. That's funny. NFL Week 9 gets going on Thursday. Guess who plays on Thursday night, Joe?
Who's playing, man?
Aaron freaking Rodgers. Who cares about the Jets? But we will watch this game because of who their opponent is. The Houston Texans go to New York.
That one's going to, I mean, in theory, Texans should win this one.
Yeah.
This is a trap game for them.
It is a trap game.
It's a trap game.
It's a Halloween night game on Prime Video. Watch it on Amazon. Somehow, some way, Joe, the Jets are favored by 2. What does that say about Vegas right there? Vegas's belief on the Texans. Are the Texans at 6-2 smoke and mirrors because they're beating a bunch of bad teams by 3 points?
No, I think the Texans are a legit team. They find ways to win bad games, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when you can find ways to win bad games, when you're not playing your best, you're making mistakes, you get penalties called against you, but you still manage to win the game, you got some grit, man.
Well, the Texans, I think, are talented enough. They have all the weapons that you need offensively and defensively to go toe-to-toe with any team.
Their game's just ugly sometimes.
We talk about the Cowboys, how the Cowboys don't have the talent. They just don't have the talent anywhere.
Yeah, not anymore.
The Texans are talented everywhere. They're just not bringing in the A game. They played an A game once this year.
Yeah.
They've been doing nothing but C games this year. And because they're so talented and they have the players, C games are enough to win against bad teams. But I don't think I'm having the faith anymore that the Texans can make noise in the playoffs because unless they're bringing an A or a B game, they haven't shown it this year, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Why are they struggling against these bad teams? Why are they only beating the shitty-ass Colts by 2, by 3? Why are they beating the Bears by 6? You might look at the Bears and go, well, they have a good record. Yeah, but the Bears had Caleb Williams' second game in his whole career. Why are they beating Jacksonville at home by only 4 and they were losing the entire game?
Yeah.
Why do they have so many turnovers against the Packers? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's a stretch of games going on. I think that, I want them to play well. They're going to beat the Jets. I hope they beat the Jets, but after that, they got the Lions. Lions going into Houston.
Look at who's in the chat right now. We got Garrett
from the Netherlands. What's going on, my man? Hope you're feeling good, baby.
Angel says Texans have no offensive line.
Could be. It could also be that C.J. Stroud is kind of coming back into the pack.
Yeah.
You know, you have tape on him. But then also Nico Collins has been out on IR. Nico Collins, the biggest weapon that C.J. Stroud has. Nico Collins was leading the league in receiving yards before going down. He was on track for over 2,000 yards receiving. Went down with an injury in week 4.
We do have some breaking news, though, that I'd like to share. So our breaking news is, just saw this right now. And the fans in the chat, were telling us as well. Rudy Gay announced his retirement after 17 seasons in the NBA, man. It's official. He's done played his last game, man. So pour some out for Rudy Gay, former Spur. A lot of people here give him flack. They say that he's one of the worst Spurs of all time, right? I still like Rudy Gay and what he did. I got his bobblehead still here on the desk with me. So good on you, Rudy. End your retirement, man.
Rudy Gay, I liked him. He had a smooth shot.
He did. We got him, at the tail end of his career, though. And the Spurs had got him in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
would have been a different story.
It would have been good, dude. It would have been good. Sorry, I'm reading something else real fast that I was going to bring up later on. No, Rudy Gay is one of those guys where he's in the Hall of Very Good. How many players do you see play 17 seasons? Was with the Grizzlies for many years, the Raptors, the Kings, Spurs, the Jazz. The guy is a legit player. He could hoop, dude. I mean, he was a solid role player. Career average 15.8 points per game, dude. Played 1,120 games, averaged about 16 points per game, averaged 5.5 rebounds per game. Was a career 35% shooter from three. I mean, the guy could ball, dude. The guy was never an all-star. Was third in Rookie of the Year back in 2007. A couple of times he averaged 20 points per game. I mean, what a career this guy had.
Yeah, and look at Chris Gonzalez.
Pour one out.
Rudy Gay was a monster in Memphis, man. That was another time.
He was good, dude. He was like the ideal third guy on a team. Yeah. But he never had the opportunity to be that guy on that team. Because when you're playing with Memphis and you're playing with Sacramento and you're playing with the Spurs on the down end of their career of their when Duncan's on his last leg, he never got the opportunity. But I really liked him.
Yeah, he was a good player, decent pickup for the Spurs when he played here.
I remember back in the day that people would can you go $2 real fast?
Yeah.
Back in the day when Kevin Love played with them, and everyone would always take those photos and put it on social media. It would say "Gay Love" because they were teammates.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! What? Want to talk some pop culture?
Yeah, why not? We'll go ahead and do the bump.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and do that.
You know, I always get excited whenever you see celebrities get excited about going to Buc-ee's. If you want to show my screen real fast.
Sure.
Sabrina Carpenter is one of the biggest things in music right now. Espresso, that song that she has over 1 billion listens on Spotify. She's performing at the Moody Center this weekend, and on her way stopped at Buc-ee's. And whenever you see celebrities, Joe, do that, what do you think about that? Because we've seen videos of Katy Perry, of Pink,
Lenny Kravitz,
that they go to the Buc-ee's there in New Braunfels, right? By the way, Sabrina Carpenter was in New Orleans over the weekend. She was a surprise guest with Taylor Swift on the Eras tour over there. She originally opened up for Taylor Swift earlier in the tour, came back, now a huge star with Espresso, right? Goes out there, performs with Taylor Swift, comes to Texas, and is spotted at Buc-ee's, and she's putting on TikTok and on Instagram her adventures at Buc-ee's. Imagine going to Buc-ee's and running into a celeb. Would you say hi? Or would it be like one of those things where you're like, is that who I think it is?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell. I mean, everybody's around them taking pictures and running at them, and oh my God, look who it is, I mean, the one that I liked was Lenny Kravitz. He was just all cool about it, dude.
Yeah.
He just walked in and grabbed his little snacks, just walking through the Buc-ee's, saying hi to everybody, taking pictures real quick, got on the bus, said, let's go.
That's funny.
But when the celebrities go to the Buc-ee's, they're like, what is this place, man? This looks like a regular gas station. It's just a little big. And then you get inside and you're like, well, damn. You go in there anytime you go to Buc-ee's, right? You're going to, I'm going to put like $30-40 of gas in the car. You're coming out there at least $2 bills light, dude.
That's exactly
every time, man.
Exactly. By the way, Sabrina Carpenter did post a TikTok about it. She's not showing off the way that she normally is. She's a baddie though, man. She's a baddie. But that was her at the at Buc-ee's. You wouldn't have recognized her.
No,
you wouldn't have recognized her. But I did get excited about that, dude. Joe, going to any good concerts these days?
No, nothing, man. Saw something that kind of intrigued me a little bit, the Aztec, but got to see if I'm going to be free for that event.
No, dude, I've gone to so many concerts these days, man. I'm getting ready for vacation, Joe. Oh, I didn't tell you. I like how we do program. If we go $2, by the way,
yeah.
If we can have some programming notes, gonna need to have a guest a guest host sometime in mid-November, man, because I'll be going to Miami for a couple of days. Bienvenido a Miami.
I'm going to be having the day off on the 11th. So, we're not going to have the show Friday.
Friday.
Can't do the show this Friday. I'm going to be at UTSA. My daughter has a presentation that she's going to do. It's a big presentation for some type of scholarship or something that she's up for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's between her and a couple other students. They all have to do a presentation, and then they're going to pick the winner or something like that. So I got to be out there supporting her on Friday. So I'll be there for like half the day.
Well, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That's badass. I'm thinking about Tom Brady. Did you hear about Tom Brady's ex-wife?
Again?
Remember she what's it called? Had a kid. She left Tom Brady, was cheating on him with the trainer. Now she's having a kid with that trainer.
Jeez, bro. How old is she though? She like in her
44, dude.
Come on, man.
44. So what happened to Fat Joe yesterday at the World Series?
You a New York fan? Oh man,
he's getting crap because if you show my photo right here,
yeah,
he wore Timberlands onto the mound,
bro,
before the game. I don't know, singing a song, whatever, trying to get the crowd all hyped up. The grounds crew had to go over there and fix it because the Timberlands were smoothing out the dirt.
Jeez, man. Come on, bro.
He sang renditions of New York and All the Way Up over there.
Oh, man.
Fat Joe was in San Antonio a couple weeks ago.
He's
for
all over the
tacos and tequilas. He's lost a lot of weight though, man.
He's on that Ozempic, dude.
He's more like Chubby Joe.
No, he said he lost all that weight through Ozempic.
You know what? Speaking of which, you know who lost a lot of weight through Ozempic?
Who?
Christina Aguilera.
Oh yeah.
And she is. I've always liked Christina Aguilera. I've always thought that she's hot, right? She's kind of cochina, right? She's always been hot, right? This was her before Ozempic. But have you seen her after Ozempic? What happened to her curves, dude? What the hell just happened to this girl?
She lost it, dude.
Dude, who wants to see this? No, thank you. Now, she would have been a baddie bracket semifinalist back in 2005, 2003, when she was ex-Tina. But, dude, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. Where did the curvy girl go? She's Latina, for crying out loud. Her name's Aguilera. Come on. Where did she go? Nah, dude. I'm off that train, dude.
She got healthy, man.
Is that healthy?
It's healthy, man.
She got skinny. I don't know if she got healthy. Bear County Social Apparel saying a nugget. Sam Selena saying thick Christina Aguilera was still pretty hot. She was, dude. Do you know who's thicky and kind of hot, not Latina?
Who?
I don't know why, but for 25 years running, I've been about Kelly Clarkson. I don't care how big Kelly Clarkson gets.
Oh, God, dude.
I mean, I'm not going Demon Mike on her or anything like that. But Kelly Clarkson is just like, she's nice. Am I wrong? I thought we were in the trust tree. Icky Azaleas is what's going on. No, but you know, we're all in the whole thing about trying to lose weight, right? I've lost 25 pounds. Matt Lerma's lost over 100 pounds. We're trying to lose weight, right? There's different ways about doing it, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, you don't look the same. You know, like I want to lose, just full disclosure, I want to lose 10 more pounds. And that's it. I want to look the same. Okay. I want to look like a thinner version of myself. This right here, if I had told you, Joe, who this was right here, would you have guessed Christina Aguilera?
Yeah, it still looks like her.
Dude, he looks nothing like her, Joe.
It does, man.
Dude, when the last time we saw her, she was all thicky. I'm going to go find her on Instagram. Xtina, right? 9.9 million followers, right? I don't know, dude.
No more genie in the bottle.
She got too skinny, dude. She got too skinny.
Oh man.
Oh no, dude.
She ain't no BB Rexa,
Oh my
bro.
God.
She ain't no BB Rexa.
BB Rex. As we go through Christina Aguilera posts here, there's Sabrina Carpenter. There you go. I don't know, dude. Too skinny. No, thank you. Thank you, drive-through. Pass.
God. You know what we need to do too? We need to give some love to Jeff Garcia.
Let's do it.
Let me go ahead and switch the scenes here so we can go ahead and do that, man. Well, I can just do it right here. Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked on Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked on Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked on Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
So Jeff Garcia from Locked on Spurs in Ken's 5. I ran into him at the Frost Bank Center yesterday. Not ran into him. We made plans to meet up over there.
Do you remember the run-in?
Dude, I only had 2 beers, man.
That's not what I heard.
I was just very talkative. He has a recap of yesterday's game, post-game interviews with Pop and whatnot. Also mentions the fact that the Spurs will celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night on November 2nd and how you can get yourself a Spurs baseball-themed jersey. So go to kens5.com or onto Jeff Garcia's social media, whether it be Threads or Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Don't forget to subscribe to him on Locked on Spurs on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Play, all of that stuff. Kens5.com. Just go and celebrate Jeff Garcia. Go represent him. Go support him. And I am going to be on Locked on Spurs tomorrow with Jeff Garcia. So exciting stuff. Joe, what you got going on? We're cutting the show off a little bit early today.
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes and then I got to head out. Got to go drop off my peeps at the airport, man. But, I was looking right now to scouring the X. NBA released their standings right now. Look at the Western and the Eastern Conference. And they're like, the playoffs started today. These are your teams that would make it. Play in. These are the teams that you have. Outside looking in. Number 11 in the West, San Antonio Spurs at 1-2.
Well, the New York Times just released today their power rankings.
NBA?
For the NBA.
Doof. Don't want to know.
Number 1, Boston Celtics, who are 4-0. Oklahoma City Thunder are 3-0. At number 3, they've got the Dallas Mavericks. At number 4, the Timberwolves. 5, the Cavaliers. 6, the Suns. 7, the Lakers. 8, the Magic. 9, the Clippers. And 10, the Golden State Warriors. Where do we find the Spurs? It's not the top 15. Just keep scrolling down. It's not the top 20. They give them a different tier each time. His Spurs are 24. And they have this ranked as not the tier to fear, according to the New York Times. And this is the Athletic, by the way. Say the big question: what does Victor Wembanyama's takeover look like in year 2? And what does Chris Paul do? Dude, Chris Paul, dude.
What are you going to say? Come on.
Okay, I have media people who reach out to me that I'm not going to say who they are because they're on Spurs Twitter.
You don't want to get them in trouble.
They do writing, all that stuff. So they all come up to me and go, the guy's washed.
Oh, my God. And I probably know who they are, too.
Chris Paul can't play defense for shit.
Yeah.
He can't.
It's funny.
He's a complete defensive liability. And everyone's like, oh, well, you have Chris Paul come to the Spurs because he's going to be able to get Wemby the ball where he wants. Well, if Wemby's going to be hesitating, it doesn't matter where you get him the ball. But you look at CP3, he can't play defense for shit anymore.
You know what's funny, though? Is like we talk about, people in the media say these things. And it's true because I've been there and I've had these conversations with them. They say one thing on air, right? And it's funny when you get them off air and it's just the person talking and they're like, this is how I really feel, but you can't tell nobody.
Exactly.
But
Wemby says he wants to be in San Antonio his entire career. That's what we're supposed to hear. Okay, so meetups, Joe. Yeah, how about this, Joe? How about this as a meetup opportunity?
What you got?
I am a member of the Spurs Club. They have a party room over there. Seats up to 50 people. There's no cost for the party room, Joe.
Yeah.
The only thing they say is they want people to eat and drink there. Now, I ain't paying for the eat and drink over there. Okay? Because each person, if you want to have a couple of drinks and have dinner, it's about $55, $60 per person, right?
Yeah.
But you get a good meal out of it. You may get a burger for $15.
Yeah.
Should we have a Spurs? Should we have an Alamo City Sportscast Christmas party?
No, maybe we could have a Christmas party there because we're trying to do something this Saturday, I know, for the 1,000 subscriber, kind of thing. And I have two places in mind I'm looking at right now, getting in contact with Halftime Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is going to be Mad Peckers. And, I want to help small businesses out because, I've seen them make the news lately. And it hasn't been good for both businesses, because they're kind of struggling right now. And it's up to us, and up to you guys as a community to come out and kind of help these businesses out a little bit. We're getting near that time of year where it's going to be the holiday season. Everybody needs a little help. These are good people that own these businesses, so I want to help them out.
So should we do the Spurs Club during the week or on a weekend? I think during the week.
It has to be, for me, it would have to be on a
weekends.
weekend because I do have some, holidays coming up. I for some reason they're giving us off November the 11th. And what is that day? I forget. November 11th. It's like
Arbor Day.
So I don't know what it is, man. They're giving us, I think it's Memorial Day or something like that. They're going to give us off on November 11th, and then we're off Thanksgiving Day, which is 2 days right there. And then in Christmas, we have the Christmas Day off. And then I think we have like New Year's Eve or something like that and New Year's Day off. So it's like I got these holidays to work with. But other than that, I'm pretty swamped with work. I work Monday through Friday. I could ask for maybe like a Friday to get out early.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm one of those guys that if I'm at work, dude, I'm working. I mean, I'd have to be near death for me to call in,
Well, I'm looking at a date right now of maybe November 23rd, which is a Saturday. The Spurs have a home game against Golden State. Kind of just hang out at the Spurs Club. We could watch the game together. I would have preferred it to have been a road game so that because a lot of people like Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 might not be able to make it. There's a Saturday game on November 9th the Spurs have. It's an afternoon game against the Jazz.
Yeah.
That might be a possibility as well. We'll figure it out, Joe. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and look at Sam Salinas heard the same thing that I was saying too. He said Mad Packers is apparently opening on a week-to-week basis. Halftime had to close their Bandera location. They had two locations. The Bandera location was their first location, the original location in San Antonio. And the second location was the one on Tesla Road, which we had the WWE watch party with Brandon and Seth Elias, for they're down for the count. We had like 50 plus people show up.
Mm-hmm.
That place was packed. And I'm hoping that we can do the same thing if Halftime Pizza agrees to, host us for Saturday.
Yeah, we really need to get Pete's Place also involved in what we do.
Yeah.
We had a great time over there.
We're going to keep doing stuff. And I think Pete's Place lends itself well to, I'd like to have a Spurs watch party out there because they have that nice screen. And, the weather's getting better at night. Mm-hmm. It'd be a nice place to go and, when it's getting
just
a little
chill
cooler
outside
and watch the game, have some beers.
Yeah.
It's a nice place.
We'll iron out some details and let the peeps know. By the way, Joe, I signed up to be a referee all over again, Joe. Year number 14 is what I think I'm doing. And I did my testing yesterday. I had to do my 3 exams. Aced all 3 of them, Joe.
Nice.
So I'm going to give you some of the questions that were on the exam.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 1 on the exam, well, one of the questions on the exam was, person's inbounding the ball. Defender reaches across the plane, like, out of bounds, touches the player on the arm. What's the call?
There's no call. You're going to just tell them to move back.
It's an intentional foul. Free throws.
But they're out of bounds.
It's still, you can't touch players when they're out of bounds.
Man.
Ball, same situation. Ball's being inbounded. Player reaches across the line, touches the ball. What's the call?
Out of bounds.
It's a technical foul.
What?
Third one, same scenario.
Yeah.
Guy inbounding the ball lets go of the ball. Defender touches the ball outside the plane.
Yeah.
What's the call?
That would be a foul?
Delay of game.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny. It's the same scenario of the inbounding of the ball. One, the player gets touched. One, the ball gets touched. One, the ball gets deflected. 3 different calls. And you had to do all that stuff, right? Here's a question, Joe. Team goes up by 1 point, right? Makes a layup with 4 seconds to go. Scores table stops the clock. Ball inbound. The team inbounding the ball gets called for a 5-second violation.
Yeah.
What's the call? Again, they made the shot with 4 seconds to go.
Mm-hmm.
The clock is stopped. Player gets called for a 5-second violation. What is the call? What do you do at that point? Do you give the other team the ball? What do you do? The answer is the game's over because the clock doesn't stop. It's not the NBA.
Yeah.
The clock keeps rolling, so you can let it tick down if you wanted to.
Not the NFL. NFL, they go, whoa, we got to put more time on the clock.
Yeah. So you confer. You go, was that 5 seconds? Was it 4 seconds when the ball went through the hoop?
Runoff?
Then the game's over.
Yeah.
And it's weird doing these calls, Joe. So anyway, my first 2 games that I have that are official games, and I'm going to go on my calendar here.
Yeah, we got to end the show already too, man.
Yeah,
I got to go.
Yeah, are going to be at McCollum High School next Thursday night. Got 2 games. Got Medina Valley taking on Lanier.
Yeah.
At McCollum, and I got McCollum hosting Laredo Martin. Tomorrow, I'm at O'Connor High School, calling a scrimmage between. I think it's one of the Comal County schools. I don't know if it's New Braunfels Canyon or whatever.
Yeah.
Against O'Connor, so I'll be out there. Everyone have a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow. Go Spurs Go. Don't forget to subscribe to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. And by the way, if you have any financial needs when it comes to insurances or investments, 210-508-0369. That's my number, 210-508-0369. I manage about $16 million in retirement assets. If you have an old 401k, old IRA, you want some help starting a plan or rolling over a plan, or you need help with life insurance or disability, 210-508-0369. Go Spurs Go. We'll talk more sports, pop culture, nostalgia tomorrow.